Welcome back to the Football Fanatic podcast, episode 46. We're rounding on at 50 episodes, and I mean, we're just getting bigger and better the whole time. Dan, thank you very much for covering last week. I really appreciate it. You did well. You definitely filled the boots and sunk into them, as you said. How did it feel presenting? All right?
Yeah, it was grand. It was good at the crack actually, and it was a couple of good one-liners in particular. Our good friend Lenny, I thought
Yeah,
I came off the pod last week, and I had a couple of just moments laughing about Max Verstappen was one that has stuck with me. About Max Verstappen and the pound shop pep. Them two, I
pound
thought were
shop,
just
pound shop
were
pep for
quality.
Arteta. I thought that was
Yeah,
excellent. Mossy, how you doing?
Yeah, all right, weekend now. Ready to listen to Howard, all these controversy after the weekend.
Yes, and we will move on to Howard Costello. How are you? What
I'm
troubles you?
great. I'm great. I'm feeling even better than I did it last night. So that's positive. So
Good,
no,
good, good to hear. We'll get into it.
we will.
What do you call it? Thank you very much to all who are subscribing to our YouTube channel. We are on 900 and something. So I mean, we're not far off 1,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable for like nearly just over a year doing this. To all our following on Spotify and YouTube, etc. Thank you, and please continue to listen and watch. We really appreciate it. And we'll get straight into it. The weekend review. There is only one game to start at, and that is Palace and Man United. Okay.
You're joking me, like.
Absolutely joking. We're going straight. We're going straight to the Etihad. City 2, Arsenal 2. It looks like it looks. It was. I loved it. Howard, we're going to get to you now in a sec. What you thought of it? I mean, it had everything. I loved the game. I know Howard. You said like you questioned me, saying like it was a great game. For me, it was a great game. Red cards and Rodri. All of a sudden, he's out for the fucking season. What the hell are we going to do? Haaland's just became an even bigger legend in my book. He made it to 100 goals in 105 games, only matched by Ronaldo. Yeah, it was a game that I thought had everything. It was the perfect type of setting for the two teams, in my opinion, are going for the title. Um, yeah, it was a really, really entertaining game, full of drama. Um, so let's get straight to it. It started very quickly with
Yeah.
Haaland giving one goal up. Dan and Moss, I'll get your kind of opinions on it first. All of the incidents, cover them all. Like we're going to talk in detail about them all. So, what did you think of the game first of all, Dan?
yeah, no, it was. It was a very entertaining game. I thought that going in towards half time, I thought Arsenal were the better side. Going in front, it would have been interesting to think if the red card incident hadn't happened. Um, for what way the second half would have shaped up. I suppose it would have been a bit probably similar in a way to the way probably second half would have been. Arsenal would have sat back, probably tried to defend the 2-1 lead, but would have had at least an outlet on the break. But yeah, I thought it was a good game. I couldn't get over the first goal though. That again
Haaland.
that Haaland. Yeah, I know Arsenal they kind of pushed up I think to try and kind of close the space, but Haaland has scored at least three or four of them goals this year of kind of going in behind where teams have pushed up. And like he's fucking lightning quick. It's hard to know what to do with him because he is getting them chances. I don't think he was getting as many of them last year where he was getting balls through where he's like 1-on-1 to keeper.
Yeah.
And like he's just complete clinical finisher, isn't he? So I think Arsenal would have taken a point before the start of the game, of course. I think they would have been happy enough. But I felt like when the game ended that it felt like a loss for them. Considering they just
Of
had
course,
put
yeah,
all
absolutely.
bodies on the line. City had no ideas. I think after about 60 minutes, I even thought when they brought Foden on, they actually got worse. I didn't think he had any impact at all. I thought Arsenal defended very, very well, and City had no ideas. But like I suppose when you keep knocking like that, eventually something may fall to you. And it was kind of a classic City last minute or late into the game to get the equaliser. So yeah,
It
I think
was
like
it
the
was
Trossard one is the one that annoyed me though. Like I was annoyed nearly at half time the more Howard was because I don't like the rule, but the rule is the rule, and I do think he deserves like to get the second yellow. For like the nonsense of trying to say he was trying to pick out Martinelli when he hoofed the ball into the air. I think it's nonsense. I've seen a lot of that rhetoric going around that it was a pass to Martinelli when it wasn't a pass. So but I'm annoyed by the rule. I don't like it. Like I think it's kind of it is. Um, I don't like it. Basically, I'd have it done. That kind of yeah. I think Neville talked about it after the game as well. It's like was there that much of that happening where it was annoying me watching the game of football, and it wasn't last year for people kind of if they did kick the ball out of play or whatever it was and delay the game a couple of seconds. Yeah, but the fact that that is the rule and it had happened to Arsenal recently, I think they definitely it was stupid. It was fucking really stupid by him. You know, there was no need for it at all. So.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
and
get
I
into
think
that now while we're at it. We may as well.
I'm gonna ask Moss and then Howard. I'm gonna go on to you. Howard or Moss on the red card. What's your opinion on it?
I think it's stupidity, to be honest. Like, seeing his teammate get sent off or something similar last day, it was stupid. I don't necessarily agree with similar down. I think it's soft, but he barged straight into the back of Bruno Bernardo Silva. And then he hoofed it away. And I could just see it happen. I saw the ref blow the whistle and he hoofed it. And I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to get sent off here. And I just thought it was, like, I suppose it's a very fiery game. Maybe he got caught up in it. He was frustrated that he thought he was on the break. Maybe, but like at that level, you are expected to have a level of control. I would be aggrieved if it was, that's how I lost a player again like that. So, look, if I was a United fan, I would be if it was a United game and a player we lost him that 100% would be aggrieved. But it is after the Declan Rice incident so recently, where your team have suffered away a huge game. It was like a reckless thing to do. I understand the grievance from an Arsenal fan. As I said, it would be the same as United, but I think it was justified. If you do watch it back, you can see the ref blows his whistle and he then boots it away. I don't would agree with Dan's sentiment that maybe like it is a stupid rule. I don't know if it is, but it's the rule. The ref is all the refs can do is implement it, and they've been inconsistent with it because, again, as an Arsenal fan, Doku kicked the ball away, possibly in a more blatant incident earlier on, and he got nothing. So yeah, there are reasons I would feel grieved, but I still think it was based on the way they've been refereeing it this year was worthy of a second yellow and then a red card.
All right. Before I go on to Howard, just my own kind of take on it. Yeah, it was stupid. Let's be honest. Like anyone.
Was it stupid or is the rule stupid?
Both. 100
It's both, yeah.
in my opinion. And like anyone like that I've watched or listened to in the last 24 hours, like I've said, it was a stupid rule. Like it's a rule that they're kind of more emphasizing more this season for whatever reason. But like it's a stupid rule, but it's still a rule. And Trossard, more than Arsenal, more than any team, are aware of this rule, given what happened only a few weeks ago at Rice. So I mean, you would think that they would be kind of, what's the word, aware not to kind of make this mistake again. But saying that though, and I'm going to give Trossard a bit of benefit of the doubt here, in the heat of the moment, okay. Like, it's a huge game. He's just after barging into Silva. Obviously, the adrenaline was running high. And as Arteta did explain, it was literally less than a second when it happened. Yeah. Barging, kicked the ball away. I'd say the second the ref blew the whistle, like he knew he had made a mistake. He knew he was going to be sent off. Yes, he knew it was a bad thing to do. But again, in the heat of the moment, he did it. And look, stupid rules, stupid thing to do. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but yeah, sorry, you can look at it two different ways. That's my take on it. Howard?
Yeah, I think, I look, I completely agree with your last point there, Deck, in regards to the heat of the moment, and when it happens, like people say booting it away, but like, he could first of all, he could have thought it was the halftime whistle. I personally think he was looking to the left. He actually, if you see the video, he looks to the left to Martinelli and then kicks it. He's in his back. He's pretty much like in his backswing when the whistle goes. I think it's different a bit to the Rice situation, because the Rice one was, okay, Veltman threw the ball at him and all that, but he Rice was petulant and kick, by touching it away from it. Like, this is literally, such a flash moment in one, like like if he, let's say, was actually went and actually passed the ball like to someone, like actually rather than kick it up in the air, he probably doesn't get sent off. So for the fact that he kicks it up in the air is more of a reason that he gets sent off again.
Yeah, but hold on. Like you said that he looked to his left to Martinelli. Like, I saw that look, absolutely. But if there was any intention to pass the ball, he's not kicking it up in the air like he did.
Why not?
the motion. Like you've played football. You don't. That's not a pass.
But like, but did you see
That's
where
a
it lands? It lands just where Martinelli would have
Like-
been. Like,
First of all, Martinelli was way back, in my opinion.
well, if you
Okay,
see, if you watch the clip, and you'll see actually how
Well-
close Martinelli is to the ball when it lands. He's right
that's
beside
not
it. Like,
Howard. That's not a pass. You know what a pass. We all know what a pass is. That's not a pass. That's a hoof after being pissed off because the ref blew his whistle.
well, look, we can all look at it in different ways, can't we? Like, you know,
Fair
that's the whole judgment of it. I suppose. Look, that aligned with the fact that this has happened now to Arsenal twice on 2 second yellow card decisions, when there's been so many other incidences that it hasn't happened to teams. As I said, the docu thing. Let's say Szoboszlai last week. Again, Michael Oliver was the referee, and that was about 2 seconds after thing, and he kicks it across the ball. Like, that's like, you're not giving a second yellow card for that, but you are giving a second yellow card for the Trossard thing. And then people are wondering why Arsenal fans are throwing their toys out of the pram. Like, you know, it's just the consistency just isn't there. Like, it's not
Agreed,
happening.
yeah.
Or do you not think you have, because Arsenal have such a poor disciplinary record?
Well, we
Under the
didn't. We didn't
team-
get anyone sent off last
Well,
year at all.
Since Arteta came over, you've had 17 red
Yeah,
cards.
but that was in the first season. That was in the first couple of seasons. Like, we didn't get anyone sent off last year in the whole of the season.
Do you not think like that?
So they've
You're a
amended
team to
that
play on the
discipline.
you're a team to play on the edge. You are a very physical team.
Yeah, well,
Probably-
like, we were physical last year. We didn't get anyone sent off.
No, but you've run clearly a team that it seems it's a tactic in this team where it comes to rice with Rice and stuff. Do you not think that maybe Trossard is a slight victim of that happening before, and therefore it's more aware of watching
Like,
Arsenal players
I would way rather see red cards or second yellows given for stuff that's going to be maybe a leg breaker, like a Martinez challenge there at the weekend. Like, that was like this crack about touching the ball a second after he blows the whistle. It's just, and it ruins the whole game. Like, it's like, okay, you can say it's the new rule. If it's new rule, well, apply it consistently. It can't be a new rule because it's not being applied consistently. Just no one asked for this rule to come into play. Like, just add on the time at the end. Like, it's very simple. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they're basically, you know, ruining the whole spectacle of the game from a second of adrenaline rush or whatever. You know, okay, maybe if he does mean to boot it up in the air, you know, because he's frustrated that the free kick was given against him. So what? Like, you know, like, it's a second yellow card for, like, it's just from a level of, I suppose.
Can I ask you a question?
A level of threshold. I think it's a joke of a rule.
Okay, can I ask you a question? All right, so taking the ball away, but in fairness, Arsenal could have had a couple of yellow cards for people going down feigning injury near the end of that game.
Well, Dan, the 3
Ray-
players that went down.
Raya won.
The 3
Raya
yeah,
won, there's
Raya
nothing-
one
nothing wrong
wasn't
with
fair
him.
enough, but like,
Nothing wrong
everyone
with
does that. The other 3 players came off. We played Atlanta on Thursday. We played Tottenham on Sunday. Like, you can't expect them to be robots.
I know, but it's funny because I know you're focusing in on the Trossard and the card, but like Matty is kind of bringing in a point there that is
the
kind of
dark
valid.
arts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
and it is valid though, because you would have been on here giving out about like Newcastle and their dark arts
100%.
last year, what they were doing.
Yeah, I know, 100%. And I do. And like, add on the time. And they did that last year. They added on additional time at the end. But I think like this thing of like ruining games for these type of yellow cards, and when it's not done across the board, it just doesn't work. You can pick and choose when to do it. Like, when you can pick and choose as a referee to give someone a yellow card, well, then the referee has more say on the outcome of the game. Like, and that's not
I'd
right.
argue, as a City fan, like, if it from you know, like, your first goal came from Kyle Walker being called to the ref to talk to your players to calm them down, and then was therefore out of position.
Yeah,
which
another
then led to
reason why
Galatasaray
Oliver
scoring.
sent off Trossard.
Why
He's
did
like,
you-
I made a mistake for that. I probably won't be over in fucking in Dubai now. I better even it up. Like, on that, I think
That's insane, but fair enough.
Yeah, but on that, like, Walker has time to run back, and if you see when we played the ball over, he's lined up with his back 4.
Yeah, okay, Howard. Yes, all right. He's
Let's discuss that one. So yeah,
he's a fast
immediately
player. Yes, but I mean, the ref did take him out of position and did not give him sufficient time to get back into position. Yes,
but he was in position when we hit the ball.
Okay, I disagree with that
He
one.
was nearly in line, but he wasn't 100%, and it did seem to give a yard of an advantage. And at sort of level, I think this is the ties aside factor. I think it gave a serious advantage to Arsenal. Now, look, Calafori's finish was absolutely top notch. I wouldn't have seen that coming most of the time. But I still think, as a City fan, you could be very aggrieved. The whole momentum. Yeah, as I said, I just think that leaves, as a City fan, it switched the momentum, swung the momentum. City were playing phenomenal, and like you could argue that changed the game to as much an extent as the sending off did it in later on in the game.
Yeah.
So, like, I think City could be aggrieved by that. I think Oliver made a mistake, possibly in both regards.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm going to answer that one. Just I was annoyed at the Walker thing, but it didn't annoy me to an extent that like I'm gonna keep an argument going and go, look, it happened, it's over and done with. It was more the kind of second goal, the Gabriel goal, that annoyed me because he had done that already in the game.
Yeah.
And like to kind of allow him to do it again, and he done it last week against Tottenham. So I mean, if you do your
Does it
homework,
regularly.
yeah,
He does it regularly. Yeah.
if you've done your homework, you know that Gabriel is in the box. He's going to try and do that. And there's a very funny clip of Walker poking him in the back.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. I was actually watching it live, and I was like, "What is he doing trying to poke him?" And then I was like watching Gabriel in. It's like, oh.
Then he just goes and get the goal, and it was a brilliant position to Arsenal to get themselves into. City scoring had opened the game up, and because they'd done it so early, like it kind of said to Arsenal, "Look, you have to come with us now," and they did that, and they definitely took it to us, and they went in. They were about to go in 2-1 up. Sorry, they did go in 2-1 up, and they deservedly led. And then the red card, etc. And then
can I just say that in the first half, like I know Mike said that the goal turned the point. Like the turning point for me was Rodri going off the pitch. Like once he went off, Arsenal got a bit more confident and started to actually put passes together. And they were looking a lot more threatening like just after the first goal, and then obviously they got the second goal. And I just think that probably knocked a bit of confidence, knocked them confidence. I was Man City, but it probably gave confidence to Arsenal knowing that he was off the pitch. And I think that was a massive turning point in the game. And I think the second half, if it was 11-11, would have been an absolute cracker. It could have been like a 4-all or something like that. And
I still loved the second half though. I know,
it's grand, but it's grand to say you loved it, but like it's a training session. Realistically, I know it's like a 6 thing, but like it's not the two teams that we only play each other twice a year. Okay, you want to see the two full strength teams go at it, and I just thought the standing off kind of ruined that for something that was such a silly rule in the grand scheme of
fair
things,
point.
You know what I mean?
I thought the second half, I mean, for as good as Arsenal were defensively, as bad as City were going forward, I mean, and it took John Stones of all people to kind of put the ball in the net. And I mean, Carragher said it on Super Sunday yesterday, where like he made a last ditch tackle years ago to deny Liverpool a goal that ended up being of huge importance, and you never know how important this goal could be yesterday. But just at the end now, I want to move on to Haaland and his antics at the end. Did he go overboard? Should he have been? He's not going to be punished. I read that today. Should he have been punished? He threw the ball at the back of Gabriel's head. He kind of got on Arteta's face after the game. Like he was a bit of a bully. Piers Morgan had to say as well this morning as well. It's what do you think of Haaland? I suppose overall, after his goal, I personally think he didn't do much in the game. But again, in the second half, I mean, the box was so overcrowded that he could do feck all.
Yeah.
But his antics at the end of the game, like, what did you make of that, Dan?
Yeah, I think he was. Look, it was the temperature had flared, like the mist had descended. I think at the start of the game, nearly was it Havertz in the first couple of seconds with Rodri, it nearly set the tone for the game. And I think it was like that threat where there was Needle, and there is kind of, I suppose, from last season that as well. There was a lot of ruckus on the benches, so there was that element in the game. You could see it throughout it. And I thought then as well that Arsenal in the second half, and that as well, of course, like what else were they to do? Like they were camped on their own in their own box most of the second half. So they had to try and time waste. They had to try and do whatever they could to try and get to the end of the game, and nearly succeeded. And for me, if they had succeeded in the last number of years, it would have been one of the biggest, I think, displays. Like no one really wins at the end. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, and to do it with 10 men missing one of your star players when you're camped in your own box, it would have been amazing if they had it done. So I think there was he threw the ball at Gabriel. They were going at it during the game, so that was happening. He then shoulder barred Party and the restart, like absolutely into him.
That's definitely a yellow card, that one.
yeah. You could argue he should have got 2 yellows because throwing the ball at Gabriel should be a yellow for just acting the bollocks. And then he's bashed into Party off the ball for no reason. But I didn't like. Yeah, I seen it. I seen it a couple of times with him through his time at City, and he probably was the same at Dortmund, where he kind of can have a bit to say, and I think he even in his celebration, like he kind of looked like he had lost the head.
Yeah.
I think he said something to Arteta at the end of the game as well. So I think, look,
He told him
the
to
antics
stay
are,
humble.
yeah, I think the antics, what they do is
I love the way he
make
said that, like as if like he just casually said, "Stay humble." Like, you know, if
yeah,
you look
yeah,
at the
Yeah.
clip, it's not as nice as that. Go on anyway.
yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
I don't. I just think that what it does is really. I didn't. Really, it doesn't bother me that much. I know people are giving out about that he's a bully. I think bully is the word that was used to describe him. But I think what it does is it makes the return fixture, or if
Yeah.
they meet
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
it builds it up. Like, because in fairness to Haaland, like he scored against two of the best, probably the two best centre backs partnership in world football at the moment. And he got his goals. So I just think that battle with the two centre backs there is one that we'll see a lot more of.
Mm.
It was probably a bit over the top, but I thought a few of them. There was a few of them near the end of the game there that like heads were gone. There were kind
Yeah.
of
I felt like the
Pep was kicking chairs, wasn't he? Pep was
yeah.
kicking
Pep,
chairs.
I felt it was the first time we played City where City were actually worried about us and concerned, and I don't use this term lightly, but rattled. They were a bit rattled for the whole thing. Even their comments afterwards from Silva, like, and saying, "Oh, let Liverpool try and win games," and Haaland
Had a
will
lot
turn
to
over.
say, hadn't they?
Like they're always coming out saying stuff about it. Like I don't get their team. It's like someone who's worried about someone and they're just trying to put them down or something like that. But it there was even in the stadium, I felt like there was a bit of air of desperation, and you could see it in Guardiola on the sideline. Anytime they missed any sort of chance, he was like, oh, because he knows obviously it's very difficult to score against the Arsenal team. So it was,
Well,
and he was like, if Arteta was there kicking chairs, you'd be all over the back of the newspaper the next day. But because Pep does it and he's the golden boy, no one says anything about that. Like, so look, I just got that feeling. It was like maybe it's the beginning of a rivalry until whenever the court case finishes.
Okay. Oh, shots fired.
Can I just?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to say that I think outside of the actual game, for me, the takeaway was I read it earlier this morning that they were saying it was suspected ACL, but it wasn't confirmed. But it was from reliable enough sources that I didn't think they'd be putting it out unless it was the case that it was a serious injury. It looked it anyway. Players don't usually just go down like that unless it's something serious. But I actually think it's the takeaway of the game for me because I would have said in this podcast, regardless of how good De Bruyne is and Haaland is, for me, the stats don't lie in regards to City's drop off when Rodri doesn't play. Now they have started off this season without having him, but over the course of the season, I think he's probably potentially going to win the Ballon d'Or. City actually don't have another player like him now in their squad. They'll probably end up having Gundogan will probably continue in that sort of a role. But I think that nearly is the takeaway of the game because, as Howard said, like City didn't look as good when he went off the pitch. They don't look as good. Their stats for even goals that they score, their percentage win rate, it's always obviously quite high anyway, but isn't as good without him. So I just feel that it is kind of, we talk about Odegaard being out for Arsenal. For me, Rodri is and has been City's most important player. Outside of Haaland's goals, if Haaland isn't there, City will get goals elsewhere. If De Bruyne doesn't play, I think they'll create goals elsewhere. But I actually think even some of the goals City have conceded at the start of the season, I think Rodri is that like linchpin for them. So that for me is the takeaway. If he's out for the season, it definitely, you could argue that's a couple of points, whatever you want to say about where you think the title will go between City and Arsenal. It's going to be tight again, you would imagine. That goal at the end, in regards to the points tally at the end of the season, could have a big impact if it's going to be tight, which I think it'll be anyway, tight again. And then we take Rodri out of the equation. If I was an Arsenal fan, that would be
of course,
I'm a Liverpool fan, and for anyone else, like it's a big blow for them, massive blow, like.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. He has been our best player, I think, for the last 2 years. Go on, Howard.
No, I was thinking the same as well. Like it's just it'll be interesting to see how City cope without him, and if they'll delve into the market in January. But
I hope we don't, because all right, huge player, he's out, but we have lost big players before. Fair enough. Maybe not to the same extent as Rodri.
Jack, you're breaking up there. You're gone as well.
Yeah, and I hope we don't buy anyone because Rodri, fair enough. huge player. He's gone, and in the past when De Bruyne was gone, we survived. Haaland was out, we survived. Rodri, irreplaceable, but I mean, Kovacic is more than good enough to play in that role. Gundogan has proved he can play in that role.
Rico
I mean,
Lewis.
John Rico Lewis. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's been brilliant so far this season. John Stones probably had the game of his life playing in a more midfield type role as well in the Champions League final versus Inter. So I don't want us to go near the transfer market. I think there are players there. They won't be Rodri, but they will definitely do a job. So I hope we don't go near the transfer market. But yeah, no, that was a huge kind of takeaway as well. And he didn't even have a start to the season. Like yesterday was his first start for City.
Yeah,
So,
I heard he played his 66 minutes this season.
Yeah.
Like
That's all.
that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bit mental that he's done it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's obviously you can kind of tell like the way he fell and everything that like it was one of them ones that your body is just gone, like because he was just
Yeah.
running and it buckled, like you just like
Yeah.
it is that whole rhetoric of too many games, and he was
Yeah,
harping
that
on
was an
about it for
argument. That was an argument
He
he was
just said
making
it.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he just
it's
said it,
mad,
yeah.
isn't it? And he was saying about players going on strike as well and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And he was kind of starting a conversation.
And he was also talking about Arsenal's mentality, so karma's
Karma's a bitch, is it?
I
Okay.
reckon he deserved it, Howard. Is that what you're saying?
Look, speak bad of the Arsenal, you don't know what's going to happen to you.
The Arsenal, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 115 reasons why he hurt his leg.
They were saying
Yeah.
like then he's going to come back. He's going to be playing against fucking whatever Barnsley or whoever in his first game back.
Barnett.
Wigan.
All right, look, it was a huge game. It definitely, for me, it delivered. 2 points lost for Arsenal or 1 point gain for City. Howard, what do you think?
Look, I would have taken a draw at the
Given
start
yeah,
of
but
the
given
game.
the circumstances, how
Yeah,
close you were.
yeah, no, I was going to say would have taken a draw at the start of the game, and I would have taken a draw at halftime. But obviously, in the last 5 minutes, I definitely would have taken a draw. But when you take it all away, like it's terrible to concede at the very end. But if we conceded 20 minutes in, we would have lost the game. So if you look at it at a positive time, it was the perfect. If we were to concede, it was the perfect time to concede, that we were able to just hold on and get a point, because I think we just couldn't lose the game, and when we went down 10 men, and I think it's unfortunate we didn't hold on, but I still think it's a good point in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, fair point. Anything else from the game, lads, that you wanna chat about, or anything else stand out for you? No.
I think Timbers is a class player. Anytime I watch him for Arsenal.
Hold on a sec. He
thought-
didn't fucking make one completed pass yesterday.
Yeah, no, but just in general, I just
Yeah,
think
he's-
he's a good player. He's quick. He's like, put it this way, he's a massive upgrade on Zinchenko now that he's actually there. And I think Calafiori is another one. Like, they just bought well. Anytime I
Great
watch
goal.
him, anytime I watch him, I think he's the one that I think is kind of stands out for me. And it's just interesting now to see what way City will go in midfield.
Yeah.
Like Savino again looked lively at the start of the game, kind of then drifted out of it, but just in midfield, it'd be interesting to see what way they go forward. I still find the Foden thing bizarre. Like, I wonder when's he just going to start kind of getting him rolling again, because he was player of the year last year. It's amazing to think player of the year, and like he's not actually technically not really injured. Like, said he had an illness or whatever, but like he hasn't really kicked the ball. That's a scary thing when you look at the City juggernaut, and he hasn't even really kicked the ball yet for them.
Okay. The rest of the matches over the weekend, so a couple interesting results. Brighton 2, Forest 2. Referees.
Good game,
very good game. The referees were at again. Where what did he say? He said that he got the ball, and then a couple of minutes later he sent them off. So again, we go back to the word consistency. We've said it last season. We're saying it again. But the refs, they just don't seem to.
And just on that, like, just why make new rules and new things that, like, can it not just focus on maybe trying to get better at what they've already put out there? Like, get better at VAR, get better, like trying to put new things in there, like, oh, we need to evolve and do this new rules and all that. Just focus on trying to get better from the last season, because you've been crap with the last few seasons. You know what I mean?
You should talk at the annual conference, Howard.
Yeah. It's like, get the basics.
I would
right?
definitely inspire them, I'd say.
Yeah. I'm sure there are plenty of people saying stuff to them, but like, get the basics right, and then start focusing. I must say, just one last thing: the Atlanta game Arsenal played, there's a referee there. He looks actually the image of Leandro Trossard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
his
You know the
outlet,
guy
yeah.
I'm on about, Clement. I don't know, Turbine or whatever his name is. But I must say, unreal ref. Like just like you don't see him, you don't hear him, and he just refs the game. They gave a penalty. It was a Stonewall penalty to Atlanta, and that's just what you want to see. You just want to see good refereeing and they come in when they need it, not referees that
Yeah.
want to make themselves the star of the show.
Do,
Like,
do you reckon it's the English ref's problem, really?
yeah,
Is that
English
what
ref.
you're-
And
yeah.
you know what? Like the punditry and everything have all been told to be quieting down about it as well. Like, you know, we were on here every day, every year, or every week talking about that Dermot Gallagher ref watch thing. It's the biggest load of BS that you're going to see on TV. Like, and it's just that kind of stuff just really irks people. And it's like the English referees want to be star of the show. Like, just get in there, do
Course,
your
yeah,
job,
absolutely.
and just let everything pass by. There could be even a level of like maybe the more stuff they do, the more the more viewers and more speculation. Maybe that's what the Premier League, they're trying to make it more entertainment from a controversial point of view. But like
Yeah.
the entertainment factor is into football, so let's just see the football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Give us back our game. That's how
Yeah.
it says. Okay, Spurs 3, Brentford 1, West Ham 0, Chelsea 3, Villa 3, Wolves 1, Fulham 3, Newcastle 1, Leicester 1, Everton 1. They finally got off the bottom, or they finally got off the bottom, yeah. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0, Palace 0, Man United 0, Southampton 1, and Ipswich 1. Just before we move on, man, did anything stand out for you at the weekend apart from what has been mentioned already?
Just the Martinez tackle. I don't know what people made it
Oh
out.
yeah,
Massive.
yeah.
Get your view. Like I'm all for like, well, he didn't touch him kind of thing. But Jesus, that's a crazy
Okay.
tackle to be doing.
If he
Either.
did,
If he did touch it, like, yeah, it's just. But it's a weird way to tackle anyway. But I'd like to hear, what people
I
thought of
was watching it going, what are you after doing? Like,
it.
as in, it was
Yeah.
mental. He jumped for no reason, two-footed, and just thank God he didn't touch anybody. And that
Yeah.
was literally it. I was like, you're completely in the wrong. If you made contact there, I could
Could be
never defend it.
could be half the season if you got. You could get a serious
Yeah,
ban for that.
it
Like,
was shocking. I don't know what came into his head, but thankfully, a little bit like in the Spurs game, he didn't make contact, so we take his yellow. If I don't know what, I've no
Yeah.
idea what is going through his head. But United game, what I watched aside from that was probably one of the best first halves of football I've seen them play under Ten Hag. Played the type of football I saw Ten Hag play at Ajax, what he was supposed to be playing. We just couldn't score, and man of the match went to Henderson. And second half wasn't as good, but like just Xerxes played brilliant link in the play up, and he's getting a load of berating online for not scoring goals. And I'm like, did you watch that this man literally set up Garnacho and linked all our play? And the minute he went off, we suddenly had no link up or were completely different.
He's not a goal
And there
scorer
was
though, is he?
He's
Like I
not a
said, he
goal
wasn't
scorer. He
bought.
wasn't bought to be a goal scorer.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't understand why you're beating him with a stick that he isn't bought for that. He links up the play so well and he's so silky, such silky touches. And his
Physically
position
strong
and
as
touching
well.
the ball will create goals for Garnacho and Ahmad or Rashford, whoever's on the wing. So yeah, look, I thought that like it was a really good game. Bad result. It was a frustrating result, but it was a really good performance. And to be honest, United need to improve performance. A consistent game. That's 3 games in a row that they've played at a pretty decent level, where you could see a plan, see if what they were trying to do. Maybe we don't have the quality up front as much, but at least it felt like it was progress in the right direction. The other game, the thing stood out for me. I thought just saw Villa after away first Champions League game to be 1-0 down, and the way they responded and eventually winning 3-1. And Duran getting on is having a
Yeah.
dream season. He's
Yeah.
coming off the bench. He's turned into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of Aston Villa, just like banging in goals from on the bench. I thought they were very impressive, and just Emery's just such a good feel good vibe around Villa at the minute.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
bar their ticket pricing of their fans, but like everything else on the field is just so positive. Like they stood out for me, and as my resident Ipswich fan here, the
Yeah.
last minute equalizer, I was like delighted. It was such an important point for them, like, and a sickener for Southampton who had played so well and they got the goal. And United are being Diblin has been linked with United, and Ashford has been trying to get him for 2 years apparently. So liking what I'm seeing so far from him as well. So there are a few
Very
things
good.
that stood out for me from this weekend.
All right, very good.
Yeah, I
Sorry, Don, go ahead.
credit. Yeah, no, the one for me was West Ham and how poor they were against Chelsea. I actually was messaging Cronin just in relation to them because like they're playing a higher line. Their centre backs, like they're not quick. Remember the goal that Haaland got against them a couple of weeks ago. It's like they brought in all of these different changes. They brought a new manager, new structure, Brought in a few players, like your man that they brought in, that Rodriguez lad doesn't look like he can run it up either. He was hooked off after 35 minutes. Yeah, I just think it's an interesting one. You know, they've started very poorly, and they just, I think, have tried to make too many changes too quickly, and it was concerning how bad they were against. Like Chelsea could have won that 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And West Ham had 1 or 2 of them performances under Moyes, but in general they're solid. They were solid enough, and of course, new manager, everything takes time. But again, if we're talking about the West Ham way, they won't put up with that. You know, but you know what I mean? Like they were giving Moyes a doing.
What happens if you Google the West Ham way? Like what? Like, is there a Wikipedia page for that? Or
well,
like...
David Moyes was asked about
it. A map that leads you to the stadium, I'd say.
Yeah.
You're gonna get.
David Moyes was asked about it. I don't know if you watched the Upfront podcast with Simon Jordan, but like he asked Moyes, like, what is the West Ham way? And Moyes like, I don't know. I actually don't know what it is. So
that's why he's not in the job.
But they'd have to start picking up results soon. But at the moment, it doesn't look great for them. You know, I'm not sure what Fulgrig, the striker that they bought, how long he'd be out for. I'm not sure, but like they look like a team that's struggling with the new setup to get used to what they're supposed to be doing. Like players like Kudos and players last season that lit up the league, they haven't really got going. So that one, and also Newcastle, I think we're finally found out for. I think they got away with it a bit so far. And I think Fulham gave them a bit of a reality check as well. I've only seen some of the goals they conceded as well. Bruno Guimaraes, and I don't know, whatever it is this season with them, I don't really just feel that they're dealing well at all. He made a few changes there at the weekend, Eddie Howe. I just think that Newcastle are another one that I still think to keep an eye on, because they actually, even though their points tally might suggest it, I don't think they've got going either. Yeah. You know, and just one more thing, the Dutch destroyer, like, you know, he's fucking lighting things up there, getting better week in, week out for the mighty Liverpool as well. I think he could do a job there now for City there in that Rodri role there for the season. He'd be if you had a player like him, Deck, I think there'd be no stopping you, you know. But he's flying.
Mind you, don't jinx him down now, he'll get injured next week. Like
yeah, he is flying though. I have to say, himself and McAllister have been a joy to watch, playing in the kind of deep role alongside each other. McAllister has to do less running, which is what the way he was at Brighton. He was more technically. He's been allowed to be more technical on the ball and not have to do as much running. And Gravenberch is just cleaning up everything. And I'm really liking the midfield balance. So that's all I'll say about Liverpool. Yeah.
All right. Very good. So we're going to move on. So I have a couple of questions for you, just kind of like a fire round of questions. Like the lads don't know the questions about to ask, but they're all football related. So kind of first thing that comes to your mind type thing. Howard, I'm going to start with you. Favorite Wenger moment?
Oh God, favorite Wenger moment.
First one that comes to your head.
It's actually funny. The first one that goes to my head. The first one that comes to my head is actually the moment where he gets sent off against United. And he goes up into the crowd and doesn't know where to sit, and he just has his hands out. That's actually funny. It's funny just when you say, because like it's not like a moment I was like, oh my God, it's like, you know, we won the league, or it's just like it kind of just like it kind of gives you a sense of he is kind of, he's obviously a very intelligent man, like the professor or whatever you wanted that he
has his arms out, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he has a bit of like, you know, there was a bit of like, you know, trying to be a bit of an entertainer there.
Of course, I remember he was like a godlike genius at that stage.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting to see, you know, him on that side of it, when usually he's so cool and calm, like, and then, you know, and he's just there like doing this on the sideline, and it was just it was kind of an insight to maybe a softer side to him that you probably wouldn't get to see a lot of the time. So it was By
any chance, did you read Wenger's book?
I did, yeah. So you gave me the book, yeah.
Did I?
You said, yeah.
You never gave it back either. I've been looking for that.
Man, that was from the library. I saw it. You robbed that from the library. I had a library stamp on it.
Yeah, Spittle Library, if you're looking for your book.
You're not getting it back.
There's only one copy in Spittle.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to Dan. Dan, worst Liverpool memory / match / moment?
Oh.
Can be any.
I'd say one of them anyway will be the Champions League final loss to Madrid. I was just because I was away in Poland, I was interrailing, and I just remember I was good. That was, I can't remember now what year that was off the top of my head, but that one just stands out.
This is the one where Salah got injured, was it? You lost 3-1?
It was Madrid. Yeah, it was Madrid anyway. I just remember being the gutting feeling in my stomach for that one. So that one stands out. Company's goal against Leicester as well. That was another
Oh,
just
yeah, that was a great goal.
yeah, that was another moment. I think that just you were like, fuck me. So there are probably two that
Yeah.
just top of my head that kind of stand out as gutting moment. Oh, was there a question? Was there a part of your question? Was there?
There's
No?
going to be, no, just kind of worst Liverpool memory / match or moment, but no, those two are
I
very
just
fine.
yeah, Grant. Yeah.
Moss, who was your favorite United player to watch
Ooh.
over the last since you've been following United?
Um, um, it's type between two. I was a Peter Schmeichel fanatic as a child to the point that I had a
Oh,
life size.
you were a goalie. Yeah, you were a goalie,
Mm,
sure as well. Yeah,
yeah, I had a life size Peter Schmeichel cutout in my room from the age of about 6 to about
kind of
14, 15. So it's
scary,
quite
but
creepy to
okay.
walk into my bedroom and
Yeah.
just a big fucking hulking Peter Schmeichel standing in the corner. So I loved his commanding presence. I loved him
Yeah.
as a keeper. I loved his attitude. Um, but if you were going from a more technical point of view, a player that I just loved to watch was Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
Ability to spray passing, tread the ball through. Himself and Michael Carrick were a beautiful combination as he moved on to later years. So yeah, definitely Scholes would be that technical link up play. It's just someone I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Carrick was good.
Scholes
Enjoy
underrated,
watching.
isn't he?
Would you say, Dan?
I think he gets his fair credit.
Does he? I don't know.
Ah,
Everyone will talk Gerrard, Lampard,
yeah.
more Keane, Vieira, but I don't know. I don't know. Does he get as much credit? Scholes for me, I think he could be underrated. I don't know.
Okay. I
I think
also
his personality and his kind
Yeah,
of avoidance of the media and stuff, and he wasn't really the poster boy that like Gerrard
yeah.
and Lampard were, kind of
true.
probably play into that. He likes being understated, and kind of that was a bit of his personality anyway.
That's what I
He was
liked about
unbelievable.
I liked that about Scholes is that you never kind of heard any off the field stories about him. Whereas the other players like take your pick. But what's he call it? Scholes was he played football. He just loved football and he was a genius at it. And you only kind of have to look at some of the quotes. Xavi and Iniesta looking for Scholes' jersey after that Champions League final in 2011, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Scholes would definitely be he was top class. Okay, Howard, your second one. So
Oh,
these are kind of going down the funny kind of aisle. Okay, so current Arsenal player to go on the beer with, who would you go with?
oh, current Arsenal player to go to beer with. Oh, I would probably say, I'd probably say Saliba, just because, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Well, just because he has an undertone of arrogance about him.
He's
French,
try
Like
he's
your,
try.
like yourself, Howard.
yeah, French arrogance. So we'll be able to, we'll be able to
I don't
feed
think he
off
gone.
each other.
I don't think he gone near the beer though. I'd say he'd be on the wine all night though. Surely
Well, yeah, I'd have a few glasses of wine with him if that's the case.
that's fair enough.
No, yeah.
Okay,
So he'd be a guy just sort of pick his brain about his French heritage and culture.
interesting. Okay, not fucking mental, but interesting. All right, Dan, who's your favorite second team? Someone that you like love to keep an eye on outside of Liverpool.
You know what? It was always Barcelona when Messi was there. But that kind of I love that Barcelona side. Iniesta was my kind of favorite non-Liverpool player. Iniesta was my favorite player. So I used to love watching Barcelona every week back when they had like Messi, Henri, Eto'o. Like it's so many kind of class combinations. Even Neymar when
Uh,
he was there, even though I didn't like Neymar, he was class when he was there. So probably
uh,
was Barcelona. Now I don't know. I don't really have. It's definitely not fucking Celtic anyway. I can assure you. But I yeah, I don't know. Don't really
would
have.
you?
I don't really keep an eye on anyone else anymore. Actually, really. Yeah,
No worries. And you were keeping an eye on Leverkusen last season, given Alonso, etc. So,
yeah.
um, who else? Is there any other second team I've heard you mention a bit? No, you don't really. I've never actually, in fairness, I know Mossy has his Ipswich. Howard, I don't really see you having a second team either. But I know I mentioned Burnley last season, but Dan, in fairness, you don't actually have a second team. One love, one Liverpool. That's it.
I'm just
Um,
trying to guess very well. So yeah, like there's teams that I like or appreciate who particular someone who would have history in that as well. But like, yeah, there's
no,
no one that
no,
comes to mind now. Yeah,
no,
although
fair.
I would be with same as Mossy there. I'd like to see Ipswich stay up. I kind of have a bit of a yeah, I kind of think that they're kind of under the radar. Everyone's talking about them that they're definitely going back down, but I think they have a chance. Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
All right, Moss, last question yourself. Who would you like to fight in the current Man United team and why?
And I like to fight.
Yes.
I'd love to take Anthony and beat the living shit out of him because he's so terrible.
Very good. Okay, that was pretty quick.
Although where he's raised, he'd probably take me, but in my head, I'd have a chance.
Fair enough.
Get the life size Michael cut out and start chasing him with
he'd
it.
fuck. The only problem is, Massey, he'd swing for you and he'd miss. Like, he fucking misses his chances.
Uh,
No great pirouette around me, I'd say.
He just has that face, doesn't he? He has that kind of punchable face, like.
Yeah, like Richarlison.
Did he get
Pepe?
Yeah.
Marcelo when he was at Real Madrid. Danny
There's no
Alves.
need to
They're all,
use
do you know what? They're all like
Brazilian,
gangsters from the
Portuguese
streets
people.
of Rio, or wherever. They're all like, they all would have been drug dealers back in the day if they weren't into football. Like, that's what they had that look
In
about them.
fairness, actually, right, you make a very good point. Just think about some of the names you listed. Danny Alves.
Yeah.
His
He's
Like a
kind
name
of-
a lot.
He's gone down a dark road. Adriano.
Yeah.
He went down a dark road. Robinho. He's gone down a dark
Like
road.
Ronaldinho. as well.
Ronaldinho. He's gone down a dark road. There's a
Joey
trend.
Barton.
Yeah, well,
the Brazilian, the
Honest to
Brazilian
God,
Joey
like,
Barton.
there are a number of Brazilians there that like have huge. They had huge kind of quality, but I mean, for one reason or another, they kind of went the other way. That didn't end too well.
They all had like pretty much tough backgrounds, I'd imagine. Robinho, I think you mentioned him already, but yeah, I'd say a lot of them had tough backgrounds, and this is what happens to them when their career finishes. Like,
Yeah, fair enough. All right, very good. Cheers for all them. Fantasy football, Dan, update us.
Yeah, there was a serious week for. I wanted to ask you, did you know the person who? Do you know Christian Palmeria or Miri?
No, I
No?
don't.
Christian, whoever you are, anyway, his team is called a sack of spuds.
Oh yeah, I
So-
saw that now, man.
Yeah, he got 99 points this week. Which was really good going. He had Trent Alexander-Arnold as captain, which was a fairly good shout on reflection. Anyway, he had 22 points. He had Haaland, he had your man Kuna at Wolves. He had Luis Diaz, Konza, Henderson, and goals. Yeah, so he got 99, so he's up to second place. Afternoon Delete had a bit of a lead, but now he's still 5 points clear there. Paddy Carney in first, and then Brian O'Sullivan, and you know him?
I think I know him. I think I know.
I think you know. His team is Manu United. He's
Diet Coke,
he's in
please.
third. Huh?
Diet Coke, please.
Yeah. So it was a weekend where there was a few people who most people actually captain Salah, I think, over Haaland at the weekend, and that didn't work out as well as some might have hoped. So it's there was fairly good scores though. There's a lot of good score in there across the board, 60s and 70s. Good lot of them.
How did your weekend go?
Average enough, 56.
Which is
the
actually
Haaland
below
thing
average, Dan. Low average.
Yeah, the Haaland thing is killing me now. I think at this stage, I think the Haaland might have to come in now. I think because
Do you admit now that you were wrong?
I admit that. I can admit that I was probably wrong. Yeah. You can't like argue. Was he 10? Is it 10 goals now? Like so.
10 and 5 games. That's insane.
I don't even know points wise how many points. Hang on, let's see how many points has he actually got in total.
Like 10 goals and like it hasn't been done before in 5 games. So I mean, if he's on that, he's on a trajectory to get 76 goals in the season.
Yeah, so like put it this way, like he's 63 points, like is what he's got so far. So like that's what I've lost out on, which would have been fucking helpful now. Anyway, but I just think the way it's kind of panned out for me, I probably will have to make a change, especially now I have Jota in my team as well, and he lost his place again. And with Nunes' goal, I don't know if he hit it back. So it's
You're doing the wild card, Dan.
That's what I mean. Yeah, probably. I know a lot of people probably use theirs.
I'm probably going to do mine this week as well.
You haven't used yours either, yeah.
Can I ask you? Are you going to put Salah in? Like, keep Salah in. That's the question. Because I'm worried. Like I've had Salah. I put Salah in like 2 weeks ago, and he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, the interesting one is there's a couple of people I've noticed that don't have Salah. They have Diaz. I don't know whether or not they have changed it, but I've seen Diaz is in a lot more people's teams now. So the argument you could have is if you're going to use your wild card is Diaz is flying. He started the season really well. He looks confident. You have an extra 4 or 5 million to play around with.
Yeah.
If you went for Diaz over Salah.
Yeah.
Argument then against that would be like you've got Gakpo, Salah, minutes wise, Salah will get the most minutes of the Liverpool front line. So you could argue that way as well, like that over the course of the season, he'll have more minutes. Salah's on penalties as well. So, but like he has had a quiet 2 games. Yeah, like he got the assist, but he wasn't really in the game.
Sometimes his form like that, like if after a game or two, it could go on for a while, like end of last season, he kind of fell off the.
Shite.
You took out Saka for him as well, so that's the question.
Yeah, I took Saka. Yeah, that probably backfired. Well, Saka and I put in João Pedro. Yeah, but that whole substitution was poor. But
here we're talking pure shite here because the man actually on our screen that hasn't had a word in here edgeways had a monstrous week, so I let him take it away there because he actually had a good week.
Where's he coming? Where's Mossy going?
I've slowly made a bit more respectable position now. I've gone from 75th to 19th over the last couple of weeks.
Good lad.
I've had a bit of
progress.
Chelsea effect, yeah. I had Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer, both of them scoring.
And your wild card played, Mossy.
Yeah, I used my wild card after about week 3 because I was like, what have I done?
That's good. Yeah. I'm looking at your team now. It's actually, it's a decent team.
Yeah, put together. So Diaz has been good for me. Smith Rowe.
Moss, did you just say we pulled together? As in your team, you got your motivated or something like that?
To the side, we had a big chat, and I had a few pickpockets hired, and then we just
Very good. All right. Well, listen, as always, the winner will get, we're a long way from the end, but the winner will get a club jersey of their choice. Okay, we'll move on to Super 6. So the fixtures this coming week are in the Carabao Cup, which is on tomorrow and Wednesday evening. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that the Super 6 is actually down to Super 5 now because the Newcastle Wimbledon game is postponed. So it's actually 5 games. Yeah. So that one's gone, just to let you know.
If you're going to win, you're only going to get 20 grand now instead of
2 million.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Usual 100,000.
Why is it cancelled onto this?
I didn't look into it. I went into Super 6 just to look at the table and what the games were again for the podcast. Okay. I popped up that it's phone, so I didn't look into it.
All right, Howard, have you heard anything on your sources?
No, nothing.
Wimbledon FC sources.
Okay, come here.
0.
So we'll do Wimbledon FC. Which are MK Dons and which ones are the ones that kind of started over again?
Wimbledon. I think it was Wimbledon.
They're not FC. They've some Wimbledon, something else, isn't they?
AFC Wimbledon and MK Dons. Yeah.
AFC Pitch is flooded, lads.
Pitch is flooded.
It's a fucking monks. It's a Monksland. Last season was it Monksland loaded game? No, it wasn't. It was
Loader B team games was cancelled. Pitches, refs, fucking everything.
So anyway, flooding.
Yeah. Okay. Come here.
And if you get a chance, have a look at the pitch. Like it's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Come here. We'll start off with Howard. Your 2 games: Wickham versus Villa in the Carabao Cup.
I have 3-0 Villa.
3-0 Villa. Okay, and Liverpool versus West Ham.
I have 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. All right. Moss, Arsenal versus Bolton.
4-2 to Arsenal.
That's an odd.
That'd be a nice watch, that one.
Yeah,
tune in for that.
Very interesting score.
Surely you have to wait. Their defense after 2 games have been like steadfast against Atlanta and fucking City. They'll need. Surely
just a very interesting score. Like if that does come in at 4-2, like I'm going to start asking questions, boss. higher up than any of us would realize.
I know the ref,
Okay, fair enough. Stay away from Howard. So, Man City versus Watford.
4-1 City.
4-1. Okay, and Dan, just the old big games yourself. Chelsea versus Barrow.
Yeah, I got 3-0 Chelsea, I think.
3-0 Chelsea. Howard made a good point about this there last week. This is all just pure and utter luck. I was saying like your brother is top of the league, like, and Howard, you're fairly close to the top as well, Howard, aren't you?
I'm my luck. I'm in luck, but
there
is a lot of skill involved as well, Dick.
There is, yes.
When you're top of the table, like it's not a fluke, like.
Dick, you're rot. The 4 of us, you're rotting there down
where are you?
There. I got the most points this week. I got 16. It was a fair return. I had 2-2 in that Brighton Forest game, which I thought was and I had a draw. I won one in that. But I'm 7 ahead of you, Deck, and Howard I think is actually doing the best out of us. He is. Yeah, Howard's 5 off the lead. Yeah, my brother Richard is leading it. It's his first time ever doing Super Six, so he's getting that beginner's start. Don't worry, it will run.
They all get found out eventually. Yeah, no, I'm putting all my kind of concentration into the last man standing. You laughed at me 2 weeks ago when there was like
How many are left?
39 left. Yeah.
Has this been confirmed, or is
this is genuine?
This 39.
Fact. Dan, you can go and kind of talk to all your
I'll talk to my contacts now.
Talk to your people amongst them. But
yeah. Well, how many was in originally, Deck? 500, was it?
300 and something. 39 left. And
who do you have left?
I'm going to be picking Arsenal this coming weekend. I have it all down to a T. Arsenal this weekend, Chelsea the following weekend, Man United the following weekend after that, Villa the weekend after that.
To a T. Before United, Deck.
Yeah, but it depends on who they're playing. And in the week that Man United are playing, Villa having a tough away game. I can't remember against who.
Do you think? So after these 4 weeks, do you reckon the €500 is yours? Do you reckon everyone's be gone?
I reckon the €500 will be mine in 2 weeks. I'm just planning ahead. Oh God, Diet Coke, please.
Absolutely.
If I win €500, I'll bring you all out for dinner again. No problem.
Again, you didn't bring us over dinner last time.
I brought.
I missed that first time, guys.
I brought you to the location. You know.
Yeah, brought us. Whatever. We can get to the location ourselves.
Well, Dan hardly could. He poor bastard limping around the place. How's the leg down?
I'm out with the boot, would you believe it or not? So I'm which is a great. Anyone that doesn't know, I ruptured my Achilles tendon during the summer, so
dancing like a lunatic,
like a yob.
To a great song though.
Great song, Fireback can save me. Yeah, but anyway, I'm out with the boot, so I'm in physio now. So I won't make the October internationals, but I might make myself available for the November ones there for the Irish.
Good lad.
Good job.
Okay, listen, I think that is us for this week, men. Again, thank you to all who are listening, watching, subscribing, following. Please continue to do so. Before we end, men, any other business?
Just think it's big news that Everton are going to be taken over. That was just a big news story of the day.
Who's taking them over?
What do they call it? The old Roma there. Freaking group or something, is it? So no, yeah, something like that. Group. It's called the Fecking Group. The Fecking.
Are they like
Roma?
They own Roma.
Yeah,
they own Roma, and they're a big business organization. They're involved with Toyota and loads of companies. Like they're American owned.
They wouldn't fill me with confidence. They spent over $1 billion at Roma. They gave a 3-year contract to Rossi at Roma, and then sacked him after 3 months. And they've just thrown a load of money at the problem. And with all that everything's going on, it's going to take. It's good for everyone, I suppose, that at least there's less uncertainty.
That side of it.
There's actually a story. There's a lesson there to be learned about kind of very famous players or kind of club legends going back to manage their club. The Rossi at Roma, Lampard at Chelsea.
Rossi's gone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Rossi at Roma, Lampard at Chelsea, and there was another one. Who the hell was it?
Sure, United.
Toshka, United, Xavi, Barcelona.
Shearer, Newcastle.
Yeah, it doesn't end well. You know, I mean, you go back and you have all the best intentions in the world, but I mean,
Arteta, Arsenal.
That's punching. He's only what do you call a pound city Pep or something like that.
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I was like, he's more of a high-end knockoff, to be honest, than the pound shop Pep. Like,
I like Arteta. I do, even though he annoys some people. I always did like him, and I even kind of. Well, I don't know if it'll happen now, but I always kind of thought, could he be the one to succeed Pep at City? Would he come back? I don't think he will now, but
no,
you know,
yeah.
Keep the bastard.
He does, he does divide a lot of opinion, and it just if he was a terrible manager and Arsenal were doing well, everyone would like him. So that's the way I look at it.
To be fair, if you're doing something right, everyone hates you.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. You see, just the Roma fans are going mental about the Rossi. You see that? Like they weren't happy. Yeah, they weren't happy. A lot of them weren't happy when Mourinho got the chop either, because it wasn't that long ago. He got.
They actually started like arriving outside De Rossi's apartment in the middle of Rome to show their support and sympathize with him because it was such a terrible decision made by the management, and that he's a club legend and they still love him and all this kind of stuff. And they're like a very difficult club to go into, and I think they've named a manager who's going in there, and I just like I don't envy him. The more than AC Milan, it's been very difficult for him taking over there, but they got the win against Inter in the Milan derby.
Oh,
there
you went Fonseca, is it?
Yeah, Fonseca. He got they
Yeah.
won 2-1 in the
Yeah, that's
89th
right,
minute or
yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
they reckoned only he won that. There was still he was going to be fired after that game if they'd lost. So even though he's only in since the summer, so
Very good.
But-
All right, man. Listen, cheers as always. Yeah, that'll do. We'll be back next week. We may have a guest on, not 100% sure yet. He'll come back to me and let me know. He's a Liverpool fan. What do you call it? That'll do, man. Listen, have a good week, and we'll be talking to you again, okay?
Cheers,
Cheers,
Zach.
lads.
Cheers,
Sweet
lads.
folks.
Good luck.